Imagine waking up in the morning and realizing your fingers are shaking uncontrollably as you try to hold your coffee cup. Or perhaps you notice that your loved one, diagnosed with Parkinson's a few years ago, can now barely get out of a chair without help, something they once did naturally. For older adults facing Parkinson's, this progressive loss of strength combined with persistent tremors represents more than just inconveniences. They are barriers that rob them of their independence day after day, drastically reducing their quality of life and often leading to social isolation. Traditional medication, while essential, often fails to completely control these symptoms, especially as the disease progresses. It is in this challenging scenario that a surprising discovery has gained the attention of the scientific community. Researchers from renowned institutions such as Harvard University and the University of California have found consistent evidence that certain foods contain bioactive compounds capable of directly acting on the mechanisms that cause muscle weakness and tremors in Parkinson's. We are not talking about substitutes for medication, but powerful allies that, when regularly incorporated into the diet, can significantly enhance the effect of conventional treatment. Today, I'm going to reveal the 5 transformative foods that every senior with Parkinson's should consume daily, and that unfortunately few doctors mention during quick consultations. These aren't exotic or expensive foods, but affordable options that, when consumed in the right amounts and form, have shown impressive results. My elderly patients who have incorporated these foods into their routine report significant improvements in just 3 to 4 weeks, with a noticeable reduction in tremors, greater steadiness when walking, and gradual recovery of strength in their hands and legs. Imagine being able to hold a glass again without spilling its contents, walking more confidently without the constant fear of falling, or simply being able to button your own shirt without help. These small gains represent huge victories in the daily battle against Parkinson's. Let's discover together how to transform nutrition into a powerful ally against the most debilitating symptoms of this disease. Before we begin, I'd like to know where you're watching from today. Leave a comment below and feel free to share your experience with Parkinson's. Are you watching because of a family member, or do you live with the disease yourself? Your participation is invaluable to our community. Before we continue with our next topic, I want to extend a special invitation. If you or someone you love is facing the daily challenges of Parkinson's and is looking for reliable, science-based information explained in a simple, practical way, this channel was created especially for you. Here, we regularly share strategies, tips, and news that have helped hundreds of seniors live better despite Parkinson's. Click the subscribe button now. It's completely free, so you won't miss any content that can make a real difference in your quality of life or that of your family member. Now, let's dive into the first transformative food for those facing Parkinson's in old age. The first food every senior with Parkinson's should consume daily is cherries, especially sour cherries, also known as Amarena cherries or tart cherries. Among the many foods I've researched throughout my career working with neurological patients, cherries stand out for their remarkable effects on reducing tremors and improving motor function in seniors with Parkinson's. But how exactly does this small red fruit impact such a complex neurological disease? Let's explore together. What sets cherries apart lies in their high content of anthocyanins and natural melatonin. Anthocyanins are pigments that give cherries their characteristic color and have potent anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties. In Parkinson's, chronic inflammation occurs in the brain centers that control movement, particularly in the substantia nigra, where dopamine-producing neurons are progressively destroyed. Studies conducted at the University of Michigan have shown that anthocyanins in cherries can reduce specific inflammatory markers associated with neurodegeneration by up to 25%. Furthermore, cherries are one of the few natural food sources of melatonin, a hormone generally associated with sleep, but which also has significant neuroprotective properties. Researchers at Cornell University have found that the melatonin in tart cherries can help regulate circadian rhythms, often disrupted in Parkinson's patients, and also protect the remaining dopaminergic neurons against oxidative stress. What makes cherries even more interesting for older adults with Parkinson's is their unique ability to partially inhibit the activity of an enzyme called CoMT, catechol-O-methyltransferase, which degrades dopamine. This mechanism is similar to that of certain prescription Parkinson's medications, such as entacapone, but without the side effects. A study published in the Journal of Medicinal Food showed that older adults with Parkinson's who consumed tart cherry juice, 200 ml, daily for 6 weeks experienced an average 22% reduction in resting tremor intensity and a 15% improvement in manual dexterity tests. To reap these benefits, I recommend consuming about 20 fresh cherries per day or approximately 240 ml of unsweetened cherry juice. During the months when fresh cherries are unavailable, frozen versions retain virtually all their benefits, and juice or concentrated extract, available at health food stores, are excellent year-round alternatives. Many of my elderly patients have adopted the habit of drinking a small glass of cherry juice in the morning and another at night, reporting not only improvements in tremors, but also in sleep and morning stiffness. It's important to emphasize that the benefits are cumulative, so consistency is key. Most patients begin to notice improvements after 3 to 4 weeks of regular consumption. If you're taking medications for Parkinson's, especially MAO inhibitors like selegiline, consult your doctor before including large amounts of cherries in your diet, as interactions can occur in some specific cases. The second transformative food for seniors with Parkinson's is fresh ginger. Many people know ginger only as a spice or home remedy for nausea, but few know that this root contains extraordinary bioactive compounds that can have a significant impact on Parkinson's motor symptoms, especially the tremors and muscle stiffness that so compromise the independence of seniors. The most studied component of ginger is gingerol, a substance with remarkable anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties. In the context of Parkinson's, gingerol has demonstrated the ability to cross the blood-brain barrier, providing direct protection to dopaminergic neurons against oxidative stress, one of the main mechanisms that accelerate the progression of the disease. Studies conducted at the University of Seoul, South Korea, revealed that gingerol can inhibit the activation of glial cells in the brain, which, when hyperactivated, promote neural inflammation and worsen neurodegeneration. But the most surprising benefit of ginger for seniors with Parkinson's is related to its ability to modulate the activity of calcium channels in muscle cells. The characteristic tremors of Parkinson's are partially caused by a dysregulation in calcium flow in muscles, leading to involuntary contractions. Researchers at the University of California, Los Angeles, have discovered that specific compounds in ginger can help normalize this flow, resulting in a measurable reduction in the intensity and frequency of tremors. Another fascinating mechanism by which ginger benefits older adults with Parkinson's is by promoting gastrointestinal motility. About 80% of Parkinson's patients suffer from chronic constipation, which not only causes discomfort, but can also interfere with the proper absorption of medications such as levodopa. Ginger stimulates gastric emptying and intestinal peristalsis, significantly improving this often overlooked symptom. A small-scale clinical study published in the Journal of Complementary and Integrative Medicine followed 45 older adults with moderate Parkinson's who consumed fresh ginger tea, prepared with approximately 4 g of root per day, for 12 weeks. The results showed an 18% improvement in muscle stiffness scores and a 15% reduction in tremor intensity, especially in the hands. To effectively incorporate ginger into your daily routine, I recommend consuming approximately 1 inch, 2.5 cm of fresh root daily. This can be done through teas, adding grated ginger to juices, soups, or stews, or even chewing small pieces of the root throughout the day. One technique many of my elderly patients have successfully adopted is to prepare a simple ginger water by boiling a few slices of the root in water for 10 minutes, adding a little honey and lemon to enhance the flavor, and drinking this warm infusion throughout the day. Unlike many supplements or medications, ginger is extremely safe for regular consumption, even in relatively high doses, making it an ideal option for seniors who often already take multiple medications. Only people with clotting disorders or who use blood thinners should consult their doctor before consuming ginger in large amounts due to its mild anticoagulant effect. The third food that can transform the lives of older adults with Parkinson's is walnuts and other nuts, especially walnuts, Brazil nuts, and almonds. These foods represent true nutritional treasures for the aging brain, but their specific benefits for those facing Parkinson's go far beyond basic nutrition. Walnuts stand out for their exceptional fatty acid profile, particularly omega-3 in the form of alpha-linolenic acid, ALA. This type of healthy fat plays a key role in reducing neuroinflammation, a process that accelerates the death of dopaminergic neurons in Parkinson's. A longitudinal study of 124 older adults with Parkinson's at the University of California, San Diego, showed that those who consumed at least 30 grams of walnuts 5 times a week had a 25% slower progression of motor symptoms over 2 years, compared to those who rarely consumed them. In addition to omega-3s, walnuts and chestnuts are rich in antioxidants, such as resveratrol and vitamin E, which combat oxidative stress, which is particularly high in the brains of people with Parkinson's. Brazil nuts deserve special attention in this group because they are the richest dietary source of selenium, a mineral essential for the function of antioxidant enzymes. Studies show that many older adults with Parkinson's have suboptimal selenium levels, and selenium deficiency is associated with more intense tremors and faster cognitive decline. Just 2 Brazil nuts a day are enough to meet the daily requirements of this crucial mineral. Another valuable component of walnuts and chestnuts for older adults with Parkinson's is tryptophan, an amino acid that is a precursor to serotonin, which in turn is converted to melatonin. These neurotransmitters are essential not only for quality sleep, often compromised in Parkinson's, but also for mood regulation and fine motor coordination. Almonds, specifically, contain significant amounts of riboflavin and L-carnitine, nutrients that support mitochondrial function. Mitochondrial dysfunction is recognized as one of the central mechanisms in the pathogenesis of Parkinson's disease, contributing to the extreme fatigue and muscle weakness experienced by many older adults. Improving mitochondrial health through nutrition can result in measurable increases in energy and muscle strength. To reap these benefits, I recommend consuming approximately 30 grams of a variety of nuts daily, ideally without added salt. An ideal nutritional mix would include walnuts, Brazil nuts, almonds, and pistachios. Due to the high calorie content of these foods, underweight older adults may particularly benefit, but even those of normal or overweight weight should not avoid them. They should simply adjust portions accordingly. Consistency is key, so establish a regular schedule for this consumption, as part of breakfast or as an afternoon snack. Many of my elderly patients report that after about a month of regularly consuming nuts, they notice improved hand steadiness when performing precision tasks like writing or buttoning clothes, as well as a reduction in the intensity of resting tremors. For those who have difficulty chewing due to Parkinson's symptoms, 100% natural nut and almond butters, no added sugar or oil, are excellent alternatives that preserve most of the benefits of whole nuts. Before we move on to the next transformative food, I want to pause to ask you something important. Which Parkinson's symptom most impacts your elderly family member's independence, or your own, if you live with the disease? Is it the tremors that make simple tasks like holding a glass or writing difficult? The muscle stiffness that makes every movement a challenge? Or perhaps the unsteadiness when walking, with the constant fear of falling? This question isn't just out of curiosity, you know. Many caregivers and people with Parkinson's feel like they're struggling alone, not understanding that their specific struggles are shared by an entire community. Share your experience in the comments. You can simply copy and complete this sentence. The symptom that most affects our routine is. Your comment could be exactly what another family needs to read today to feel understood and less isolated on this journey. Furthermore, your comments help us create content more targeted to the real challenges you face in your daily lives. Now let's continue with our fourth food that can make a significant difference in the lives of seniors with Parkinson's. The fourth transformative food for seniors with Parkinson's is avocado, an extraordinary fruit that offers a unique combination of nutrients that are especially beneficial for combating the muscle weakness and tremors associated with the disease. Many people avoid avocados because of their high fat content, not realizing that it is precisely these fats that make them so valuable for the aging brain, especially when affected by Parkinson's. Avocados are exceptionally rich in monounsaturated fats, particularly oleic acid, the same type of healthy fat found in olive oil and associated with the Mediterranean diet, recognized for its neuroprotective effects. These fats are essential for the integrity of cell membranes in the nervous system, including the myelin sheath that surrounds neurons and facilitates the proper transmission of nerve impulses. In Parkinson's, communication between the brain and muscles is progressively compromised, resulting in slow, stiff, and shaky movements. Researchers at Tufts University have shown that a diet rich in monounsaturated fats can improve neural conduction and muscle responsiveness in seniors with neurodegenerative conditions. In addition to its healthy fats, avocados are an exceptional source of glutathione, often called the body's master antioxidant. Studies conducted at the Stanford University Parkinson's Research Center revealed that Parkinson's patients have significantly reduced levels of glutathione in the substantia nigra, the brain region most affected by the disease. Glutathione protects dopaminergic neurons against oxidative stress and aids in the detoxification of potentially harmful compounds. Avocados also contain significant amounts of vitamin E and lutein, antioxidants that work synergistically with glutathione to combat free radicals that accelerate neural degeneration. Another notable benefit of avocados for older adults with Parkinson's is their high potassium content, a mineral essential for proper neuromuscular function. Potassium deficiency can exacerbate tremors and muscle weakness, symptoms already prominent in the disease. With approximately 485 milligrams of potassium in half a medium avocado, this food helps maintain the electrolyte balance necessary for coordinated and efficient muscle contractions. Perhaps the most surprising aspect of avocado for those with Parkinson's is its tyrosine content, an amino acid precursor to dopamine. While dietary tyrosine is no substitute for dopaminergic medication, it provides the building blocks necessary for the synthesis of this critical neurotransmitter, a deficiency of which is at the heart of Parkinson's pathophysiology. To effectively incorporate avocado into your daily diet, I recommend consuming approximately half a medium avocado, about 50 g, daily. This can be done by adding avocado slices to your lunch sandwich, preparing a simple guacamole to accompany raw vegetables, or even blending avocado into smoothies, which masks its flavor for those who don't appreciate its natural taste. Many of my elderly patients who initially resisted avocado due to its taste or texture have found creative ways to include it in their diet, such as mixing it with cocoa powder and a small amount of honey to create a mousse-like dessert. For older adults with swallowing difficulties common in more advanced stages of Parkinson's, avocado is particularly valuable for its soft, easy-to-swallow texture. Furthermore, its high caloric and nutritional value in a relatively small volume makes it ideal for those who struggle to maintain a healthy weight due to difficulty eating or increased energy expenditure caused by constant shaking. The fifth and final food that can revolutionize the quality of life of elderly people with Parkinson's is pure cocoa, found primarily in high cocoa dark chocolate. Although many consider chocolate only an occasional treat, modern science has revealed that pure cocoa contains extraordinary bioactive compounds that directly act on multiple mechanisms involved in the progression of Parkinson's and the manifestation of its most debilitating symptoms. Cocoa is exceptionally rich in flavonoids, particularly epicatechin and catechin, compounds that have demonstrated a remarkable ability to protect dopaminergic neurons against oxidative stress and inflammation. A study published in the Journal of Cellular and Molecular Neurobiology demonstrated that these flavonoids can activate cell signaling pathways that promote neuronal survival and stimulate the production of neurotrophic factors, essentially creating a more favorable environment for the remaining neurons in the substantia nigra. Perhaps the most direct benefit of cocoa for elderly people with Parkinson's is related to tremors and muscle stiffness. Researchers at the University of Massachusetts have discovered that theobromine and small amounts of caffeine present in cocoa act as adenosine receptor antagonists in the brain, similar to medications used to treat Parkinson's, such as amantadine. This mechanism helps smooth out motor fluctuations and can significantly reduce tremor intensity by up to 20%, as documented in a pilot study of 26 elderly individuals with moderate Parkinson's. Another fascinating compound found in cocoa is phenylethylamine, a substance that stimulates the release of dopamine and other neurotransmitters related to well-being, such as serotonin and endorphins. Although this stimulation is modest and does not replace medication, it can provide periods of improved mood and motivation, non-motor symptoms often overlooked in conventional Parkinson's treatment. Cocoa also contains significant amounts of magnesium, a mineral essential for over 300 enzymatic reactions in the body, including those related to neuromuscular function. Magnesium deficiency, common in the elderly, is associated with muscle cramps, increased tremors, and excessive fatigue, all symptoms that can exacerbate Parkinson's symptoms. To obtain these benefits, I recommend consuming the equivalent of 20 to 25 green of dark chocolate with at least 70% cocoa, or 1 to 2 tablespoons of unsweetened pure cocoa powder daily. It's important to emphasize that milk or white chocolate doesn't offer the same benefits due to its low cocoa content and high sugar and added fat content. A practical way to incorporate pure cocoa into your daily diet is to add it to smoothies, plain yogurt, oatmeal, or even savory recipes like meat sauces. Many of my elderly patients have adopted the habit of preparing a hot drink with pure cocoa, a small amount of honey or stevia, and almond milk before bed, reporting not only a gradual improvement in tremors after a few weeks, but also improved sleep quality. It's important to note that for people who are sensitive to caffeine or who take certain antidepressants such as MAO inhibitors, it's recommended to start with lower doses of cocoa and consult your doctor. For those who tolerate it well, the benefits usually become noticeable after approximately 3 to 4 weeks of consistent consumption, initially manifesting as longer periods of fluidity between doses. Now that we know these 5 transformative foods for seniors with Parkinson's, let's discuss how to incorporate them practically and efficiently into daily life, recognizing the unique challenges that aging and the disease itself pose. The key to real benefits lies in consistency and the intelligent combination of these nutrients tailored to individual needs and capabilities. First, consider creating a simple weekly plan that distributes these foods throughout the day, making it easier to include them regularly without overloading any one meal. For example, you could include cherries for breakfast, ginger in a morning tea, avocado for lunch, nuts as an afternoon snack, and a small portion of dark chocolate after dinner. Second, adapt the preparations to current motor skills. For seniors with significant tremors or hand weakness, consider preparations that require less dexterity. For example, instead of whole cherries that require pitting, opt for cherry juice. Replace ginger that needs grating with pre-brewed ginger tea. Use mashed avocado instead of slices. Choose nut butters instead of whole nuts. And opt for cocoa powder mixed into drinks instead of chocolate chips that need to be broken up. Third, synchronize the intake of these foods with medication schedules to maximize their benefits without interfering with medication absorption. For example, protein-rich foods like walnuts should be consumed at meals away from the levodopa schedule, while dark chocolate can be beneficial during off periods, when symptoms tend to reappear before the next dose. Fourth, for older adults with swallowing or chewing difficulties, common in more advanced stages of Parkinson's, consider liquid or semi-solid versions of these foods. Smoothies that combine cherries, avocado, cocoa, and a little ginger can provide multiple benefits in an easy-to-consume form. Fifth, for those with reduced appetite, another common feature of the disease, focus on nutritional density. Even small portions of these foods can offer significant benefits. For example, just half a cup of cherries, a quarter of an avocado, a few walnuts, a small amount of ginger in tea, and a spoonful of cocoa already provide an impressive array of neuroprotective compounds. Finally, remember that nutritional benefits are cumulative and progressive. Many seniors or their caregivers give up prematurely because they don't see immediate improvements. Most of my patients begin to notice subtle differences after 3 to 4 weeks, with more substantial benefits manifesting after 2 to 3 months of consistent consumption. Documenting small changes through a simple journal can help you notice progress that would otherwise go unnoticed in everyday life. Before we conclude, I want to emphasize that these foods are not a substitute for prescribed Parkinson's medication or other conventional treatments recommended by your doctor. They should be seen as valuable complements that can enhance the benefits of standard treatment and significantly improve quality of life. For seniors with Parkinson's who struggle daily with loss of strength and persistent tremors, the strategic combination of cherries, ginger, walnuts, avocado, and pure cocoa represents a comprehensive nutritional approach that simultaneously addresses multiple disease mechanisms. By providing targeted antioxidants, anti-inflammatory compounds, dopamine precursors, and nutrients that support neuromuscular function, these foods work synergistically to protect remaining neurons, optimize brain-muscle communication, and provide the cellular energy needed for more controlled and efficient movements. As I mentioned at the outset, my senior patients, who have consistently incorporated these foods into their routine, report noticeable improvements in strength, tremors, and motor coordination in just a few weeks. This translates into greater independence in basic daily activities, such as dressing, eating, and personal hygiene without constant assistance, preserving the dignity and self-esteem so important for emotional well-being in old age. Remember that each person with Parkinson's is unique, and the response to these nutritional strategies may vary. The important thing is to observe individual changes, adapting the recommendations to each senior's specific preferences and needs. For those being treated for other medical conditions such as hypertension, diabetes, or heart problems common in old age, consult a healthcare professional before making significant dietary changes, especially if considering concentrated supplements of these foods. If this video brought you any hope or useful information, I'd like to invite you to join our support community here on the channel. Caring for an elderly person with Parkinson's or coping with the disease in old age presents unique challenges that often only those who experience this reality can fully understand. By subscribing to the channel, you'll have access to new videos every week with specific strategies to improve quality of life despite Parkinson's, from exercises adapted for seniors to tips for adapting the home environment and making everyday life easier. Our commitment is to bring you content that truly makes a practical difference in your life, based on scientific evidence, but explained in accessible language and with achievable solutions, even for those with limited resources. Many of our subscribers report that small changes learned here have transformed their care routines and restored moments of joy and dignity that seemed lost with the progression of the disease. Subscribing is very simple. Just click the subscribe button below this video and then the bell to be notified when we publish new content. Remember, you are not alone on this journey, and every small step counts. We want to follow and support your progress and celebrations. Every achievement, no matter how small it may seem to others, represents an important victory when living with Parkinson's. Thank you for joining us today, and we hope to see you in our next video. Take good care of yourself, and remember, nutrition can be a powerful ally in the battle against Parkinson's.